All right, so I've got a big message for all the parents out there of children who are dealing with mental illness. If you've got a child right now who's dealing with depression or mania or ADHD or any of those things, and you think that it's a good idea to take your kid to the doctor and have them prescribed some medication, I want you to think again. I want you to think long and hard about this, because I know from experience that those medications for depression and bipolar and antipsychotics, all these things, they do not fix the problem. They do not. It doesn't matter if your kid is dealing with insomnia or unfocused thinking or like brain fog, if they're out of control, if they're screaming, if they're yelling, if they're in so much anguish, and you just want relief, and you just want them to feel relief, whatever these symptoms are, if they're manic, if they're angry, if they feel like they're just losing it, and you just think, oh, if only there could be just a medicine, just anything to give my child this sweet relief from the horrible symptoms that they're dealing with and give the family a break from all the things that you've been put through, do not go to the pharmaceutical drugs. They are not what you think. They do not work like they tell you. They may, in the moment, seem like they're sedating your child to feel a little bit better. They might seem like that, and you're like, oh, they seem calm. That means they're good. Everything's good. It's not good. What you're doing right now, if you are doing this, you are taking your child to the doctor. They are drugging them into a different state of being, not a healthy state, just a different state. They are not fixing the depression. They are not fixing the mania. They are not fixing the insomnia. They are not fixing any of this. And this goes for like weight loss stuff too, because I know there's a lot of those weight loss drugs kicking around right now, and they are horrible. So these drugs just change your state in the moment. But here's the big problem. Since you are not addressing any of the actual problems that are going on, you're not addressing why any of this started in the first place, all you're doing is creating a drug addict. Let me repeat that for you. All you are doing is creating a drug addict, because these drugs, even though they say they're safe and they say they're fine, they are addicting to their body. So their body is going to become reliant on the drugs. Mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. Again, having been through this and also seen it over and over in my clients, it is horrible and really difficult to watch somebody try and wean off these sorts of drugs. It is more painful than the illness was to begin with. They talk a lot about mental imbalances, like chemical imbalances and stuff like that. Like, oh, your serotonin's not firing. Oh, your receptors are different. But here's the thing. When you start taking these drugs that change the way your body recycles and takes in all of these neurotransmitters and chemicals, you're just messing with it. You're creating imbalances. You're creating the problem. You're not fixing it. These don't fix it. And here's the other wild thing. Once you put your kid on one drug, you are catastrophically setting them up for the need of more and more and more and more drugs, because one drug creates one or two more symptoms, sometimes three or four. So where you might have started with depression, you end up with anxiety, insomnia, and then you end up on anxiety medication, so you get worse anxiety, and then you get worse insomnia, and then you have gut lining problems, and then you have digestive issues. Next thing you know, you've got medication for your gut lining, and next thing you know, your sleep is even more messed up. It's just one thing after the next. I've seen it before where a young woman went to the hospital for bipolar, and then she ended up on a whole slew of medications that made her so much worse. And then she ended up with bladder problems. And then it's like acidity happening in her body that was so bad that it damn near killed her. And so they're putting on more medication and more medication, just one thing after the next. Blaming it on the girl's body, saying, oh, you're just really sick, like you need this thing is happening now, this thing is happening, instead of them being like, oh, you know that first medication we put you on? It just caused these other symptoms that we gave you more medication for, and those medications caused these more symptoms, and then we just gave you more medication for that. That's what's happening. And they're not taking any responsibility for it. And they're even killing people over this. This is disgusting. Like, when the third leading cause in North America, cause of death, that is, when the third leading cause of death in North America is properly prescribed pharmaceutical drugs, that should be a huge red flag for you parents. Huge red flag. You think you're going to go get something that's FDA approved and it's safe, and then you're going to trust your doctor to prescribe the right amount, but they don't even know. They're just going by what is told in a book. Every single person is different. Every single person is different. Nobody knows. Nobody can know how an individual is going to respond to a specific drug and a specific amount. It's crapshoot. You're playing Russian roulette every time you give your kid those kinds of drugs. Even if you're playing with Tylenol and ibuprofen, the liver-killing, gut-lining, destroying drugs. Yeah, just by giving your child Tylenol when they're little, and then ibuprofen as they get older, when you start having those sports injuries, you are wrecking their gut lining with the ibuprofen. You are severing their spiritual connection. You are messing with them on a level that you don't even understand. And the liver toxicity of the Tylenol. Like, Tylenol has just been so well promoted. Like, what an amazing product that they have done such a great job just advertising it. Tylenol. You have a headache, take a Tylenol. You have an ache, take a Tylenol. It's totally safe. It's fine. There's children's Tylenol. Everybody can take Tylenol. It's not safe. It's not okay. And it wrecks you. You want to be depressed? Take that stuff. You want to have anger problems? Definitely take Tylenol. It destroys your parents. I know we do the best we can in the moment with the information that we have. So let this be a wake-up call. Let this be an honest wake-up call to look to help your children actually get better. Whether they are just sick with the flu or sick with a mental illness, whether they are struggling in school or struggling with their peers, let's really go to the root and help them out so that they don't end up spending the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of their life, of their shortened life, I might add, on drugs. Are we raising children or are we raising drug addicts? Because that's what this is. Your kid just wants relief. They don't really care how to do it. They just want it. And you want relief from all the bullshit too. All the yelling and the screaming and the crying. Everybody just wants relief. But here's the thing. You can't just keep overlooking what's going on. Drug companies don't give a shit about anybody. They've killed so many people, and yet people still keep going back to them like they're some kind of a trustworthy entity. They're not. Drug companies cannot be trusted. And the doctors that prescribe their drugs are unfortunately educated by the same people that put out the drugs. Like, the same companies that own the drugs, the same companies own the medical system. Same. You're not escaping any of it. Medical doctors go to school and learn about drugs. They learn about the curriculum of how to prescribe drugs for diseases that they just categorize with a bunch of different symptoms. That's another problem. So we've got people, they just go online and they're just like, googly, my symptoms. They're like, oh no, I have this disease, I have this disease, I have this disease, I have this disease. Then they go to their doctor and they say, doctor, I have this and this and this symptoms. Now I have this and this disease. Can you prescribe me such and such and such and such? And they're just like, yeah, absolutely, because they make money off of those prescriptions. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you feel good, because that's what I do. Dr. Feel Good, I just want you to feel good, so I'll give you whatever you need to feel good. And we've been so brainwashed to think that every disease is just some magic pill away from relief. But every time you take that magic pill, it's like another arrow to the side. It's like, congratulations, every time you take one of those new drugs, you're getting a new disease or two or three. I know so many people that have been given the tools, the framework, the path, everything they need to get better, but they just don't do the things because they've been so brainwashed into thinking that if they just find that one thing, that one reason why they feel so terrible, there just has to be that one thing, that one disease. Like, maybe I have a thing, I have a disease. Like, all these commercials, it's like, if you've been feeling blah, 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 sick, tired, and sore, you might have this disease. Talk to your doctor about this drug. You're like, oh, sweet, yeah, something for all those things. But it's not real. It's not real. It's just a big bullshit bunch of make-believe commercials to sell you expensive drugs that make you sick. Just a bunch of make-believe bullshit designed to sell you drugs that make you sick. Everybody experiences symptoms in life of, lethargy, sadness, anger, sleep problems. All these things can come up. But that doesn't mean you have a disease. When you let things get out of control and you spiral, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and then it becomes chronic. Chronic, by the way, does not mean forever. Let's get that straight. A lot of people think that chronic means you have a disease forever. It just means you've had it a long time. That's it. You can end it whenever you want. Chronic means you've had it long term. It doesn't mean it's stuck with you forever. So, back to what I was saying about looking for diseases. So many people are going online and you're looking for disease. Like, you're looking for the reason. Instead of looking for the solution, you're looking for the reason, because you want to reason out the way you feel. You want to justify how you feel. But most of the time, when you become sick, either mentally or physically, you're dealing with symptoms that have compounded over a long time. Either you've buried your trauma, you're not dealing with it, and you say that you have, but in actuality, you have not. It's still living in your body physically. It's still living in your subconscious. You haven't dealt with it. You think you have, but you haven't. We've all been taught that, just to be strong, put on a strong face and just suck it up and carry on. Be resilient, move on. And resilience is great, but burying trauma doesn't work. Never works. You don't have to go back and revisit that trauma over and over. Absolutely not. That makes it worse. Therapy, revisiting your traumas over and over and over and over. You're just reliving them over and over and over. That solidifies them in your mind. It is not healthy, and it doesn't help. Again, parents with the kids, some therapy is necessary to process out of things, but if you continuously go back and revisit traumatic events over and over and over, all you're doing is instilling this into and ingraining this into your mind so deep that your body keeps reliving it on a physical level over and over. So don't do that. It's important to work through things. Work through and then work past, and then keep doing the work to get better. So parents, let me reiterate. Those drugs do not help your children. You are harming them. They are poisonous. You are poisoning them. I know you don't mean to, but that's what's happening. If you need help with your kids, send me a message. That is what I'm here for. I help people get rid of mental illness, physical illness, chronic illness. That is what I'm here for. If this was hard for you to hear, I'm sorry, but this needs to be said. You cannot trust drug companies that just keep on killing people, and you cannot just keep drugging every generation of kids that feels out of control. They deserve better. They deserve a real life. They deserve not to become a drug addict. If you are online searching for reasons or diagnosis, stop. There's no point. You are perfect, and you can feel better. With the right steps, with the right support, even with the right medicine. And it's not going to come from a pharmaceutical company. I'm sorry. They don't want you to get better. None of their drugs are designed to help you get better. So you can subscribe, and if you want to join my free school community, that is school, SKOOL, Mind and Body Rebuild. It's free right now, but it won't be free forever. So hop in right now while you still can, and send me a message if you want to talk about this more.